Okay, we are back and welcome once more to John Sports Corner here on the SosoBone Media Network. And we move into netball and the Suncorp Super League. Sunshine Girl Romelda Aiken Georges Adelaide Thunderbirds 62-53 over Queensland Firebirds. Romelda hit on 34 of 46 attempts. West Coast Fever with Janelle Fowler Nemhard cruised past Shimona Jocks Melbourne Mavericks 78-61. Janelle hit on 60 of 61 attempts, while Shimona hit on 40 of 42. The big game this Sunday, Adelaide Thunderbirds against West Coast Fever. A clash of Jamaica's best. For the Thunderbirds, shooter Romelda Aiken George and ace defensive player Latanya Wilson. For West Coast Fever, multiple time MVP shooter Janelle Fowler Nemhard and defensive giants Katie Dehaney and Latanya Wilson. You had to pay to watch that one, Trevor. That game is going to be something else.
Okay, I guess I'll have to stay awake.
Anyway, ahead of Jamaica is the 2025 Netball World Youth Cup in Gibraltar, September 19th through the 28th. And Coach Annette Daly says there are immediate challenges facing their preparation, including financial and nutrition. Add to that, Coach Daly says most of her 18-member squad are either in university or high school and are currently preparing for exams. As a result of challenges, the team are currently training on weekends only.
Wow.
You and me know
Wow.
that does not lead to success going for a world championship. And I am sure that Australia, England, New Zealand are not training on weekends only.
Every week, John, we get evidence of the ineptitude of the management of the various sports enterprises, John, where we send our soldiers off to battle. We give them maybe guns, but we give them no bullets. And when they do not win the fight, we have a lot to criticize and to talk about how much money we either spent or we creeping on the sideline and say we gave them some money when they win, but when they lose, there's not a sound, John, that we never gave them the full support they needed to succeed.
Mm-hmm. That's, and we have, as we have said on this program, Trevor, that all these people, when they're a success, you see everybody showing up at the airport to welcome back the team or the players.
Yes.
But the support they need to win is not there. They're getting the support after they win.
Well, they get accolades after the win, John. They really don't get any support.
Well, in that too.
Because if they got support after they won, it would have helped them to go forward, with the support that they never had before. But I think it's a spinning wheel that each time they go to compete, they're competing under the same conditions and under the same lack of 100% support. That is, there is no correction that takes place. No press release that comes out that says the Ministry of Sports has pledged that from now onwards, all the needs of the athletes will be fully met to make sure that they represent us at their very best. So we do not expect to have another athlete coming out like Asafa Powell had to come out stating that unless they really see some changes, they will not really have to, cannot commit themselves to succeed.
And today the Minister of Sport shows up at every tin cup that drops.
Oh,
Anyway, Trevor, Jamaica has one podium finish actually at the world youth level, securing bronze in 2013 in Glasgow, Scotland. 2017, they finished fifth in Botswana, while 2021, there was no competition because of COVID. Moving to the pool, Jamaica sent a 14-member team to the 2025 Panama Aquatics Championships in Medellin, Colombia, which started May 13th, runs through the 25th. Of course, the coach, of course, is one Miss Wendy Lee. And Jamaica has won two medals so far. Yesterday, Colin McKenzie secured Jamaica's first medal, silver in the men's 100 breaststroke in a national record 1 minute 2.23 seconds, while Kia Alert brought home bronze in the girls 13 to 15 100 breaststroke in 1 minute 17.85 seconds. Moving across the Caribbean, Cricket West Indies president Dr. Kishore Shallow is confident Cricket West Indies will win the ball tampering case brought against them by Guyanese cricketers Veerasamy Pramod and Kevlon Anderson. Last month, both players filed an application in the High Court of Guyana seeking to clear their names after they were hit with level 2 breaches of the Cricket West Indies Code of Conduct.
Is that the only platform, John, where they could have appealed? That is, there is no second level in cricket where if one ruling, you're dissatisfied that you're like, like a state courts, federal courts, Supreme Courts.
Supreme Court. I guess, if they really want to push, if they lose and they really want to push it, they probably could go, I guess, what they call it? Is Privy Council, they call it now, Trevor,
Yes,
in
Privy
England?
Council, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm presuming that if they lose a case, that they have options to go higher.
Well, I would have to say, John, that if you think you're innocent, then you have to pursue your case to the highest level. If you know you're innocent, then you should you should leave no stones unturned to fight for you.
And if you have the money to pay the lawyer.
Well, I mean, this is where the union comes in, because the union should have lawyers on standby to defend, the members. And I would have to say that part of your union dues should be set aside in escrow in case it's needed, John, to defend the integrity of the members.
And I like the lawyers who, when you approach them, Trevor, they'll tell you no fee. I'll get a percentage of what we win.
Yes, but I'm gonna say this without
then you're in good hands.
Yeah, and I'm saying, John, I'm gonna say this without reservation, that within the context of our community, that's a very rare. That is a very rare commodity. Okay, I mean, and I say this because where lawyers are concerned, I would say in the diaspora, we pretty much refer to most of them as ambulance chasers. Okay, when you have an accident, they will visit you in the hospital and stand outside the door, or in your home if you're bedbound. Okay, or immigration lawyers, John. Trying to find a lawyer who will actually take on a case on this merit is very rare, John. Very, very rare.
Yeah, I know a lawyer who takes on the case, and he just takes a percentage of the result.
Well, John, that might be something that our community would be happy to. That might be someone that our community might be happy to know of, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Trevor, Barbados and Dominica played to a second goalless draw in Sunday's friendly at Windsor Park Sports Stadium. Barbados sharpening for World Cup qualifiers against Aruba June 4th and St. Lucia on June 10th. And we close this Wednesday afternoon's report with some cricket history, if you may. Last week, it was Rohit Sharma, the former Indian Test captain who retired. This week, it's Virat Kohli, the great Indian batsman who has announced his retirement from Test cricket. Kohli has played in 123 Test matches, scoring 9,230 runs at an average of 46.85. He has 30 Test centuries and a top score of 254 not out against South Africa.
Oh, great.
He has also scored 6 other double centuries, and 20 of his Test centuries have come as captain of India.
Okay.
He retired from 2020 cricket last year. He won 40 of 68 Test matches. He captained for India, and is the most successful Indian captain.
Tell me something, John.
I enjoyed watching Virat Kohli bat immensely, Trevor.
Yes, but tell me something, John. Is there a retirement age for cricketers?
Let me ask you this, Trevor. Is there a retirement age for politicians, U.S. presidents?
Well,
No, there's no retirement age, Trevor, on a serious note. But a cricketer knows, or an athlete knows when he's not, maybe he's starting to have injury after injury, and he's not performing at his best as he used to. And when it's time.
Okay.
I mean, maybe some athletes don't know when it's time, but a lot of them know it's time. When it's, you're just not producing the way you used to. And you're taking up space maybe for a younger athlete or cricketer who can probably serve the team better.
John, I remember when we had that session with Michael Chambers and Dale, our reference was drawn to the fact that there are a couple of players out there, John, who just can't walk away from the money, even though they're not performing up to scale, John. That's why I asked this question.
Yeah, but Trevor, you're talking about the professional league cricket now. If I am willing to pay X to play for me, why should he retire?
Well, this politician said the same thing, when I used to talk to a couple of them, that when people vote for you, they don't want you to leave.
But no, if a club is willing to pay how much thousand for your services, knowing very well you're not performing as you used to, but people coming into the stadium to watch you play.
Well, You know, John, in basketball right now, we have some players who have some contracts that is scaring the pants off the owners because they're not able to perform, but they have a contract that says they have to get paid.
That's right. Well, the owners know when they were signing that contract, too, you know, Trevor. The owners knew when they were signing that contract. And, you know, the age limit or the extent of their age production, you know.
I just think that, you know, it becomes a roadblock, you know, for some of the younger players who are behind them, John. And sometimes your reputation, you know, is bigger than your production. Okay. And so we ask sometimes, why is it that we do not have some of our younger cricketers being brought forward to play on the teams? And, you know, we ask that question because they seem to be performing quite well, but you don't see them until they're 25 or 26.
But you look at even, okay, you look at even basketball now, NBA, Trevor, and LeBron James.
Yes.
LeBron James is not performing, cannot perform now the way he did when he was 28.
Right.
And you can see it. If you be honest with yourself, you can see it.
But his reputation precedes him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am LeBron James. I am King, King James. You know?
Yes.
So, but you can see that he's just not able to do what he used to do when he was 25, 28, even 30. Yeah. And you have to face up to that.
Yes. But he's an exception to the case, to the you know, he's an exception to the in that case.
Yes. Yeah, because well, he has had a good career, you know, Trevor. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah.
But I think it comes to a point now, he has to say, make that decision for himself. I am not. But then again, you see, Trevor, there are some athletes who just love to play the game.
Oh, yes.
And you look at a Venus and a Serena Williams, and Venus continued to play although she was not her best. She wasn't Venus, but she loved to play tennis.
And
if she wants to play, why stop her from playing?
Well, the thing is that there are places that they can play without being a roadblock. I mean, you could have a senior team, okay, where in soccer, you know, you have the senior teams, John, you know, where you can play on the senior teams, okay, and that gives you the ability to keep on doing what you love to do. But at the same time, in the interest of the sport, they bringing forward the young talent that is available, okay, is not possible, because who is going to tell LeBron that he is not gonna start? Who is going to tell Russell Westbrook he's not going to start? I'm going to come off the bench. You see, it is good to keep them if they want to play, and it's good for the development of the sport to have the younger players getting playing time, John. But
what is Trevor, the good thing about that, you know? For instance, you say Russell Westbrook and LeBron, they can start, but you limit the playing time now.
Yes.
I mean, for instance, they might have played, say, 10 minutes, start and play 10 minutes, but now you probably 5 minutes, and you take them out.
And we are able to do that in soccer as well. You know, where, you know, after a player puts in, you know, 45 or 60 minutes, you know, you sub him, sub him out.
Yeah.
In cricket, we don't have that window. to play with. So you
Well, you see, the thing with cricket doing, not Trevor. If you're not scoring runs, or you're not taking wickets, you gotta go.
yes, but when you have a 15-member team and you pick 5 fast bowlers, like Clyde Lloyd is of bring 4 fast bowlers to play against England, and he wants 4 fast bowlers. He's limited to 15, and no, you're a spin bowler. I'm sorry, you can't come because I want fast bowlers for this, for this series. Now,
Yeah, but the fast bowlers might be better than that spin bowler. Eh?
you never know.
You know?
You never got a chance to bowl.
Well, yeah, you look at even our current West Indies team now, when they have the local inter-island competitions, our spinners take wicket, put them in the international game, and they're not taking a wicket. The ball traveling. you know. But Trevor, that's where I draw covers on John Sports Corner for this Wednesday afternoon on the SosoBone Media Network. Thanks for joining us. Tell a friend that we span the globe. We chat. But remember to go to Winner Circle store in the SosoBone shop and pick something that's there for a gift. It might be a birthday gift. I mean, Valentine's Day is gone, but birthday gifts coming up. A summer gift. Summer you get your backpack and travel with the summer backpack. And
Father's Day is coming up, John.
Father's Day is coming up. We just finished Mother's Day. It's funny how we forget about Father's Day. But folks, again, there's a great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. There you can get a coffee package. But, folks, just enjoy the SosoBone Media Network platform, and certainly hope you enjoy the sports updates and enjoy the rest of the week, family. Peace out.